Right, so we bring before the mirror, ladies and gentlemen, the resurfacing of Mutahi Kahiga. Now, if you are joining the People's Mirror for the first time, please hit the subscribe button because we are fairly a very small channel that is motivated by your involvement for growth. Now, Mutahi Kahiga disappears after a while after he makes the statement that has the country ravaging. The statement he made was in vernacular as a by-statement in a cohort of the speech that he was making. Shortly after, it got translated and transpired through the entire nation. The effect of it is that it was made in the eve of the burial of Raila Odinga, so emotions were still so alive and very high. So people take it from the point of which they receive it, and they condemn Governor Mutahi Kahiga of Nyeri for making such statements. It aggravates to the level that the party leadership itself gets to hold a press conference to admonish the statements of Mutahi Kahiga, and goes ahead to ban both Mutahi Kahiga and Rigathi Gachagua from the cohort of friendship of the ODM party. So you can see the effect of this statement. It flared so fast that Mutahi Kahiga himself had to resign as the deputy chairperson of the Council of Governors as a result of this statement. So for 3 days, Governor Mutahi Kahiga was the top man on magazines, on televisions, on YouTube channels, and in every other Kenyan space that was dissecting his speech from the lenses of tribalism. The effect of it, Mutahi Kahiga went underwater. And for a period of like 2 weeks, he did not make any public appearance. He did not make any public speeches. He went under. Now, some days, like as early, that was 2 days ago, he resurfaced, now making speeches in the Nyeri County, speeches which are very interesting. And as a result of that, we are putting him before the mirror to take a look at the speeches that he made when he resurfaced. The first thing he said was to warn the journalist, and this one he told them very categorically to now capture his statements as intentionally as he's making them and shy away from making statements or interpreting his statements in a way that would have the nation attacking him. Now, he was trying to downplay the effect or the essence that he did not make those speeches towards Raila Odinga in bad spirit, and even asked the people that were listening to him whether or not they thought of him as an individual that could make those statements. In an introduction that ended with the laughter, Mutahi Kahiga has now publicly put a stop to the statements that have been haunting the nation when his name comes up as statements that were aimed to actually rival the people of Raila Amolo Odinga's cohort or the mourners of Raila Odinga at large. But beyond the statements, he also made some substantive administrative statements, and so we will put them before the mirror and interpret them in line of political effect. The first statement he said, which still ties to the second statement, perhaps he said that still ties to the statement we have discussed. It's that he said that a lie can go around the globe twice before the shoe gets an opportunity. He said, a lie can go around the globe twice before the truth gets an opportunity to wear its shoes. Now, that was a very, very strategic, let's say, statement of wisdom from an elderly man like Mutahi Kahiga to just show how news travels in the Kenyan space and even in the digital space internationally, everywhere in the world. And when the news is a lie, it even travels quicker and faster than a truth would. And he was saying that irrespective of the good things that he would have said in that speech, which he ended up saying in his speech in Nyeri while speaking to the civil servants in Nyeri, the media houses would just keep, an eye on looking at the bad thing to make the bad thing go viral instead of putting the very good things that he has said to the people of Nyeri also in that spectrum to go viral. So that was a very good statement and a reflection to media houses to always, so that we stop just looking at what is bad about politicians and make it news, and sometimes even look at what is good that they are saying and make it news. He pointed out his service delivery's aim as not one that is rooted in politics. And the reason why I was saying this is because he has made it very clearly that he's not going to vie for any other political seat. He intends to go home and become a village elder at his own village. So he was trying to come up from a position that every statement or everything that he intended to do for the civil service of Nyeri County was not coming from a point of I'm doing this so that you can elect me in the next election, but primarily it was coming from a person who has served his people and had the interest of his people at heart, and so moving forward he intended to leave his people in a very comfortable positions of work within the county that they have both worked in for now 10 years. Then he pointed out the blame on doctors, and for this he said that doctors striked and they striked nationally, but Nyeri's conditions were actually very good for doctors. The end of it is that doctors in Nyeri still found the need to strike in comradeship with other doctors nationally, and for this he was faulting them. He said that really when the systems are working in Nyeri, there is no need for a Nyeri doctor to strike in comradeship with other doctors in places where systems are not working. And so he was calling upon doctors within the Nyeri county to just go on strike if it is necessary and if systems are not working for them. While he was condemning doctors on this one, he appreciated the nurses. He said that the nurses stood with the government of Nyeri during the strike period and did not really discard the sick people in the Nyeri hospitals. He also commended the Nyeri County medical team entirely by saying that Nyeri is one of the places with the cleanest hospitals in the entire nation. So this was just a commendation to the medical team, but pointing out specifically during the commendation to the medical team that Nyeri is also, a place to be celebrated because of its advancement in cleanliness of hospitals and health facilities. So he mounts Nyeri workers, which is a very important part of his speech yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. Something that we'll put before the mirror before we end this episode is that now, when you're in Nyeri and you are a county worker, the governor of Nyeri currently, Honorable Mutahi Kahiga, intends that your nature of contract be shifted from a contractual employee to a permanent and pensionable employee. So here I will explain. A contractual employee is an employee that gets into an arrangement or an agreement to employ for a period of time over a contract. Most times, contractual employees serve for a period of 1 year or for a period of 6 months, subject to renewal. So that renewal can be once, twice. That renewal can be any time within the 5-year period. That renewal depends on the nature of the contract that you are signing. So for most counties, they have contractual employees. They have employees that will come serve for 1 year, go away. They have employees that will come serve for 2 years, go away. They have employees that can serve for 2 years, renew for another 2 years, or for 1 year, renew for another 5 years. It depends. So they have this particular contractual employees that work within the county for that particular period of time. The effect of this is to provide service delivery for a county and make sure that county government operations work within the period of that government. And that's why you see when a governor gets into power, a lot of people feel happy because now a lot of people will be employed with the coming into power of that governor. There is the advantage of this and there is the disadvantage of this, and I will discuss with you that shortly. But first, let's talk about who is a permanent and pensionable employee. A permanent and pensionable employee is an employee that is permanently employed under their contract. So permanent is that they will stay in that particular place of employment until the day they retire, or they will stay at that particular place of employment until the day that they die. And if the event that they retire comes before the event that they die, then they will have pensions remitted for them for the rest of their lives until they die. So these are employees that once they get that job, they just feel so stable, and you can even see sometimes for most employees productivity gets enhanced, but for others productivity goes low because now they are comfortable. So it comes either way. But one thing is that it's a nature of employment that gives the employee some form of security in what they do. So this is what Governor Mutahi Kahiga is doing with the county of Nyeri. He's trying to remove his employees from employees that can renew their employment within the period that the governor is serving to the employees that can actually come to work knowing that they work for the county government of Nyeri until their retiring date or until their death date. Now this, as I said, has its effects. Let's start with the other one, the one that is a contractual employee. The advantages of it is that you get to exchange a lot of expertise within a period of 5 years. You get to try a lot of skills and a lot of people within your county within a period of 5 years to unearth the best skills that you can get from your county. Number two, you also give the spirit of devolution to the people. If you are doing a contractual basis within your county, it means that within the period of every 5 years, there will be new employees coming into that space of the county space, which means devolution will be reaching more people people as it was intended. Another thing, you can also do away with corruption to ensure that now these individuals cannot, make the property of the county their own, because they're the individuals who will work there until they retire or they die. You eliminate some aspect of corruption, which others have also said sometimes you increase corruption when you have contractual employees, because these employees would come, be corrupt for a period of 1 year and go away, knowing very well that they will not be renewed, and looting everything for other employees not to even have adequate resources to work with. So it comes with the pros and cons. So it does not enhance productivity sometimes, because an employee just sees I'm here for 1 year. It promotes looting and corruption. An employee sees that I can take everything I can before I go away. And sometimes it does not even give the employee stability, because the employee is like, I'm here for 1 year while I'm thinking of another job somewhere. So that whole aspect makes contractual employment have its own pros and cons. The same comes with permanent and pensionable. An employee can now get laxity in employment, because now they're comfortable over a period of lifetime or retirement. Enhance corruption, because now they can form a cohort of their own, or now they run the county. So really, one is not sound over the other, but one thing is, it gives an employee stability if you give an employee this other one over the other. Now, the effect of this politically is that Mutahi Kahiga is leaving, and when he's leaving the spaces of Nyeri, he wants to leave the spaces of Nyeri while he still has control over those spaces. And the one way to maintain control over county government is to have your top officials in the county government employed by an individual under permanent and pensionable terms. When that individual calls, they will answer irrespective of the governor in office. So the effect of this is that it will cause a lot of political rift for successive governors if that space is not opened for regular change of employees within the Nyeri space. So really, these statements that Governor Mutahi Kahiga made were sensible, and his resurfacing was meaningful. But then the people of Nyeri County, while moving from contractual to pensionable and permanent employees, should look at the effect of that on the evolution and development of that area to themselves. This is the People's Mirror.